Hello guys, and welcome to week 2. This week we're going to build on what we did last week. We're going to practice some more APA stuff. We're going to do another library tutorial. We're going to read my favorite chapter from the book. It's chapter 2, and it covers a lot of the kinds of documenting that you're going to be doing when you actually get a job as a social worker, and it's going to cover why writing a lot and using lots of description and stuff is really important in that field. Then the last thing we're going to do is practice writing a professional email, which is something that all of your professors insisted was a really important part of being a social worker. So, if you go over to course units, and then we scroll down to week 2, we can start going through all of these. This first one is an introductory message describing basically what we're looking for this week, and praising you for your work last week, and introducing all of the subjects that we're going to cover. You need to go ahead and read over that. The next part here is the chapter that you're going to read. We're going to read chapter 2. I have included the PDF here. I'm also going to include it in the announcements, so you should be able to see it down below. Yeah, I won't open that up. But, like I said, very good chapter. This next one here is a tutorial with the library. And if you just click this, it will open up the library's YouTube page.
As students, we're constantly evaluating.
We're not watching all that. Yeah, it kind of just looks like the one last time. This one is about the main search function if you go onto the library page, and it goes through all of the different kinds of parts that are involved in that, all of the different tools you can use to narrow down your searches. The next one will be very familiar to you because we already did it last week. This is a link to the Purdue OLLU page. So we're going to use this week whenever we are making these bibliographical citations. I did kind of skip ahead a little bit and do this last week, though, so some of this stuff will be a little bit redundant. If it is, don't worry about it. Next part here, this is a video. If you just click on this, this is the link, and it will take you to a video about pre-writing and drafting and organizing your essays. And it goes into some of the history of that, where it came from, and then also shows you why it's important. And then this next one here, it takes us to our discussion forums. So if I open those up, there are the 3 of them here. The first one here is APA style bibliographical entries. And what you're going to do here is first you're going to answer a bunch of questions. These are based on just Purdue OLLU. And they're very simple questions. If you go to Purdue OLLU, you can answer these pretty quickly. So question 2 here is, what content is included in an article in print journal entry? So if we just go to APA and scroll down, article and periodicals. So we're just going to look at this and try to figure out what's actually in it. This first part here is obviously the author. This is the date. This is the title. This is where it was published, the title of the magazine. This is volume and issue. So the particular number of that journal. And then this is the page number. You might get a couple of commercials, but that's how it goes. So very simply, you're just going to answer questions like that for this first part. The second part here, you're actually going to create some APA citations. Yeah, and what you're basically going to do is you're going to go to Purdue OLLU. You're going to find the kind of references that you're going to use, and you're going to copy ones that you find yourself into those same formats. So if you find a journal article that's in print, you could basically just copy this one and replace it all with your own information. To find your sources, your website you're just going to have to find with Google, but for the book and journal, try to use the one search feature that was covered in that video. And make sure to actually write all of these out. Don't use a citation machine or something like that to make these sources, because for one thing, then you're not going to learn anything. But secondly, it also makes a lot of mistakes that you're not probably going to make on your own. So yeah, just use Purdue OLLU and just take whatever format they already have. If we just go to, like, for the first one you're going to do, it's going to be a book. So just go to book, scroll down, and most of them will be like this, where it gives you a sample, and then it gives you the actual, it gives you an example down here, and it gives you all the different parts up here. You can just take this and replace it with your own. So do that for all three. It shouldn't take you very long. Okay, so that's the APA part. The actual bibliography part is due by Friday, but it shouldn't take you that long. You can finish all of this as soon as you get it if you want. The next part here is email assignment Q&A. So this is partially covering the chapter, and it's partially covering the email stuff. There's a little about the chapter in here, but a lot of the documentation stuff is also kind of related to the chapter. So these first 4 questions are due by Monday. How is an email in an academic or professional environment a formal document? Why do people, students, faculty, staff, professionals consider emails informal documents? Does anyone have an email catastrophe story? That should be a fun answer. So if you know somebody that sent an email where everything went horribly wrong, like maybe they CC'd the entire company or something like that, then tell us that story. You don't have to use real names. And then the last part, what stood out to you? What was something that stood out to you about the chapter in the book? This could be an example, a document type, a way of writing, etc. Yeah, just tell me whatever you know, whatever pops into your head when you think of this chapter at this point. There's some very good examples in here. There's some really interesting information that they have too. So whatever works. That should lead to some good discussion, I think. This bottom part here is all about things that are about the email. What questions do you have about the email assignment? What questions do you have about the sample document? I'm going to go over those here in a second. How would one pre-write this document? How would one draft this document? What must take place before drafting the document? And then, what is your post-drafting process? Who knows what copy editing is? What revising is? What proofreading is, etc. So you should have gotten a lot of that from that video if you don't already have an idea for it. So down here are the samples for the email and for yeah, the assignment document as well. I'll go ahead and open those now. Yeah, I'll open the rubric too. So let's get these both open. So this is the rubric. This is what I will end up looking for. Okay. Let's try not to make everyone confused. Format and structure. You should use the same format and everything that is in the sample. Content, you should have you should make sure that you're writing in your own words, but that you're asking similar questions to the ones that it tells you to ask. Mechanics, make sure that you have all of your spelling and grammar and everything correct. And then tone, make sure that you have a formal tone. The idea is you're writing this to somebody who you don't know and who is professional, and so you want to make sure that you're writing in a very professional tone. So this is the assignment page. You'll need to read through this, but it covers basically what the purpose and the of this is, and all of the different parts that we're looking for. So you need it's going to tell you what the email is about, basically who it's to. There's a few different people that you could email in the library, and you can look some of those up in the staff page on the library. But it's going to tell you what you're looking for, and then all the different parts in this. And then the next part here is a sample. This is the format that we want this in. So at the top here, this is all the stuff you would put in the top of your regular email. So who it's to, their actual email address, your actual email address, the subject line, a professional subject line. You want it to just be kind of concise and to the point. And don't copy this one, make up your own. And then the date. And then up here, you're kind of just formatting this like a letter. So, dear Professor whoever, and then this whole part, you're requesting a meeting to have them come to your class and give a presentation about library tools, I believe. And so, you're going through what it's for and the specific issues that come with it being a asynchronous online class. Finally, you're giving a few different suggestions for meeting times that you can come and discuss this. And these are the subjects that you want it to cover. So this is just a format document. This is just to show you what it should look like. A lot of this stuff at the top and bottom could be pretty much the same, just with your own information in place. So everything up to like here is pretty much going to be the same, but with your own information and with your own subject. Everything down here at the bottom is pretty much going to be the same, but with your own information. The middle part, I want you to put in your own words. Try to keep the same tone, a professional tone. Try to, make sure that you're asking for the same things, but you're still doing this in your own words. Okay, and so that part's not due until Friday. Let's go back here. And the way you will turn that in is you'll just go to this very bottom one here on the Units tab and turn it in there. It's a separate assignment from the discussion board, so you want to make sure that you turn it in here. You'll just attach it as a file down here. Make sure to attach it as a file so that I see the formatting. Don't just type it down here in the comments section. Okay, there's one more thread. Yeah, the last one is the Q&A thread about the search tools. For this one, you're just answering all these questions. And you should have plenty of practice with the search tools as you are using them to do your annotations. So, After completing the tutorial, what did you learn about OneSearch? Just a brief survey. Who's used OneSearch before? Who used the advanced function? Who has used the online catalog before? If so, which catalogs from which libraries? And then down here, this is more about what's happened after you've actually used it before. Yeah, just very similar questions. Is 800,000 hits focused research? No. No. I'll give you the answer to that one. It's no. Okay, guys. So that's your work for this week, is to do all of those different units, to make sure you turn in your email at the end of the week, make sure you answer all of those questions, and yeah, that should pretty much be it. I'll see you guys in the discussion board.